Most people don't romanticize people, they romanticize possibilities. The Sophia Empath discovers this only after reality quietly dismantles every beautiful story they once believed. Carl Jung believed that the human psyche naturally fills empty spaces. When information is missing, the mind creates meaning. When behavior becomes inconsistent, the heart invents explanations. When reality feels painful, hope quietly edits the truth. That is where romanticizing begins, not with another person, within perception itself. There was a time when the Sophia Empath believed that every emotionally unavailable person was simply waiting for someone who finally understood them. Every contradiction felt temporary. Every broken promise deserved another chance. Every emotional distance had to be hiding invisible pain. Different people, the same unconscious story. The Sophia Empath wasn't falling in love with who people were. They were falling in love with who those people might eventually become. And potential is one of the most convincing illusions the unconscious ever creates. Carl Jung believed that projection doesn't only place our fears onto others, it also places our deepest hopes there. We assume people carry our honesty, our loyalty, our compassion, because imagining otherwise would force us to grieve before we are emotionally ready. People don't always manipulate your emotions first. They quietly benefit from your imagination, because once you become attached to someone's future, their present behavior becomes surprisingly easy to ignore. The Sophia Empath slowly notices something unsettling. Every painful relationship began with imagining instead of observing. Every betrayal was softened by another explanation. Every disappointment arrived long after reality had already introduced itself. People rarely hide who they are forever. Sometimes we hide who they are from ourselves, because accepting reality often feels like losing someone who never truly existed. People don't resent your weakness. They resent the possibility that you might stop believing the version of them that only ever lived inside your mind. Perhaps this is why Carl Jung believed that consciousness is rarely comfortable, because the day the Sophia Empath stops romanticizing people, they stop asking, who could this person become? And begin asking, who are they? When no explanation is left to protect them, that single question quietly changes every relationship that follows. The Sophia Empath eventually discovers that romanticizing people doesn't begin with love. It begins with loneliness, not always the loneliness of being alone, but the loneliness of wanting to be deeply understood. Carl Jung believed that whatever the psyche longs for, it unconsciously begins searching for in other people. Not because they possess it, because we desperately hope they do. The Sophia Empath once believed that emotional depth recognized emotional depth, that honesty naturally attracted honesty, that if someone felt safe enough, they would eventually reveal the beautiful person hidden beneath their defenses. Reality quietly refused to cooperate. The walls remained, the excuses multiplied, the promises became more convincing, while the behavior remained exactly the same. Different conversations, the same invisible ending. People often believe they are giving someone the benefit of the doubt. Sometimes they are simply giving their own fantasy more time to survive. Carl Jung believed that projection survives only as long as reality is kept at a comfortable distance. The Sophia Empath begins noticing how often they defended people against the evidence those same people kept creating. They're just overwhelmed. They've been hurt before. They don't know how to express themselves. Maybe, but repeated behavior isn't explained by repeated excuses. It is explained by repeated choices. That realization feels almost cruel because it forces the Sophia Empath to grieve someone who never truly existed, not the person standing in front of them. The person they imagined was hiding underneath. People don't manipulate your heart only through deception. Sometimes they simply allow your imagination to finish the story for them, and imagination is often far more convincing than reality itself. The Sophia Empath slowly understands that love without observation becomes idealization. Compassion without discernment becomes self-abandonment. Hope without awareness becomes the quiet architect of unnecessary suffering. Most relationships don't end when respect disappears. They end when awareness finally becomes stronger than imagination. The day the Sophia Empath stops romanticizing people, they stop falling in love with hidden potential. They begin paying attention to visible patterns, because patterns never ask to be believed. They only ask to be noticed, and once they are noticed, they quietly become impossible to ignore. The Sophia Empath eventually realizes that the most painful part was never losing people. It was losing the illusion that they were someone else. For years, they confused emotional intensity with emotional truth. The stronger the connection felt, the more convinced they became that it had to be real. Carl Jung believed that the unconscious often mistakes familiarity for destiny. That is why we are drawn not only toward what is healthy, but toward what feels emotionally familiar. The Sophia Empath begins recognizing why the same emotional story kept repeating with different faces: the distant partner, the misunderstood friend, the emotionally unavailable person who always seemed one conversation away from changing. Different names, the same unconscious attraction. People often believe they fall in love with someone. Sometimes they fall in love with the role they secretly hope to play, the one who finally heals them, the one who finally understands them, the one who succeeds where everyone else failed. That role feels meaningful, almost heroic, but it quietly becomes a prison. Because while you are trying to rescue the version you imagine inside someone, you stop paying attention to the person standing in front of you. Carl Jung believed that individuation begins when projection is slowly withdrawn from the people around us. The Sophia Empath finally understands that seeing someone's pain does not obligate them to carry it. Understanding another person's wounds does not require living inside them. People don't always ask to be rescued. Sometimes they simply accept that you keep rescuing them, and once rescue becomes expected, gratitude quietly disappears. Entitlement takes its place. Kindness without boundaries quietly teaches people how to use you. The Sophia Empath begins noticing that the healthiest people never demanded endless understanding. They appreciated it, they returned it, they protected it. It was the emotionally irresponsible ones who expected compassion without accountability, love without honesty, forgiveness without change. Different expectations, the same imbalance. The day the Sophia Empath stops romanticizing people, they stop measuring relationships by emotional intensity. They begin measuring them by emotional consistency, because consistency reveals character far more honestly than chemistry ever will. And perhaps that is the quiet difference between illusion and reality. Illusion makes you chase what could be. Reality quietly reveals what has been there from the very beginning. The Sophia Empath eventually discovers that romanticizing people doesn't only distort relationships, it distorts identity. For years, they unknowingly shaped themselves around the potential they saw in others. They became more patient than honesty required, more forgiving than self-respect allowed, more available than peace could survive. Not because they were weak, because they believed. Love meant waiting for someone to become who they promised they would be. Carl Jung believed that the greatest deception is not always created by another person. Sometimes it is created by the unconscious hope that refuses to let go. Hope quietly whispers, "Give them more time. They'll eventually understand. They're not really like this." But reality keeps answering through behavior. Not once, again and again. People don't reveal their character during emotional speeches. They reveal it through repeated choices. The Sophia Empath slowly realizes that every beautiful conversation was followed by the same familiar actions. The apology never became accountability. The promise never became consistency. The affection never became security. Different words, the same ending. People often confuse emotional potential with emotional capacity. They are not the same thing. Potential is who someone could become. Capacity is who they repeatedly choose to be. And relationships are built on capacity, not possibility. Carl Jung believed that projection ends the moment observation becomes stronger than imagination. That moment feels strangely quiet. No dramatic confrontation, no final argument, no desperate attempt to change another person. Only one silent realization. They have been showing me the truth for a very long time. The Sophia Empath no longer asks, "What are they capable of becoming?" They ask, "What are they consistently choosing today?" Because tomorrow is always imaginary. Today never is. People don't always lose you because you stopped loving them. Sometimes they lose you because you finally stopped rewriting reality to protect the image you created of them. Most relationships don't collapse when love disappears. They collapse when illusion can no longer survive the weight of repeated evidence. Perhaps that is why the day the Sophia Empath stops romanticizing people feels less like heartbreak and more like waking up. Not because the world suddenly became colder, because it finally became clear enough to see without hope, standing between you and the truth. The Sophia Empath eventually realizes that the deepest freedom doesn't come from finding better people. It comes from no longer needing people to become different before you can find peace. For years, they believed closure would arrive through another conversation, another apology, another explanation, another chance. Carl Jung believed that the unconscious resists endings because endings force us to release the identity we built around another person. The Sophia Empath slowly understands that they were not only romanticizing people, they were romanticizing outcomes. The moment they stop lying, everything will change. The moment they finally understand me, the relationship will heal. The moment they realize my value, they'll choose differently. Different hopes, the same invisible attachment. People often think they are waiting for another person. Sometimes they are simply waiting for reality to become something it has never been. The Sophia Empath begins noticing how exhausting that hope truly was. Every message carried expectation. Every silence created another story. Every disappointment was followed by another attempt to repair what had never really existed. People don't always keep you trapped. Sometimes your own imagination keeps reopening the same door. Carl Jung believed that psychological maturity begins when we stop asking life to confirm our fantasies and begin allowing reality to speak for itself. That realization changes everything. The Sophia Empath no longer needs someone's potential to justify their presence. Potential is beautiful, but patterns are honest. Potential promises tomorrow. Patterns reveal today. And today is the only place where character truly exists. People often confuse who someone wants to become with who they repeatedly choose to be. Those are rarely the same person. The Sophia Empath quietly stops investing in promises that behavior never supports, not because they become cynical, because they finally understand that trust grows from consistency, not chemistry, not emotional intensity, not beautiful words, only consistency. And perhaps that is why the day the Sophia Empath stops romanticizing people is not the day they stop believing in love. It is the day they stop asking love to survive without truth, because love can live without perfection. It can even survive disappointment, but it cannot survive forever inside a story that reality never agreed to tell. The Sophia Empath eventually understands that the greatest illusion was never about another person. It was about believing that love alone could transform human nature. For years they carried a quiet belief. If I remain patient, they will become honest. If I keep understanding them, they will eventually understand me. If I never give up, they will finally choose differently. But reality never made those promises. Carl Jung believed that every person must eventually confront their own shadow. No one else can do it for them. No amount of love can replace another person's willingness to become conscious. The Sophia Empath slowly stops, taking responsibility for transformations that never belonged to them. That realization feels almost heartbreaking, because it means some people were never waiting to become better. They were waiting for you to keep accepting what they had no intention of changing. People often believe that time changes people. It doesn't. Time only reveals what someone repeatedly chooses when nobody forces them to choose differently. The Sophia Empath begins remembering every moment they confused waiting with wisdom. Every month, they hoped consistency would appear. Every year, they believed another conversation would finally change everything. Yet behavior kept repeating with almost perfect accuracy different apologies, the same outcome, different promises, the same disappointment, different beginnings, the same ending. Carl Jung believed that awareness arrives the moment we stop arguing with repeated evidence. The Sophia Empath finally reaches that silent moment. They no longer ask, "Can this person become better?" They quietly ask, "Who have they consistently chosen to be?" When nobody was watching, because repeated choices never accidentally become patterns. Patterns are character, revealing itself without words. People don't lose relationships because someone finally tells the truth. Many relationships end because one person finally accepts it. That acceptance changes everything. No more chasing, no more rewriting reality, no more confusing hope with evidence. The Sophia Empath doesn't become colder, they become clearer. And clarity asks very little. Only one question. Am I loving who this person truly is, or the person I keep imagining they will become? Perhaps that is the quiet lesson hidden beneath every relationship. The day you stop romanticizing people, it's not the day your heart becomes smaller. It is the day your perception becomes honest, because reality has always been speaking. Hope was simply louder, and once hope finally becomes quiet, human nature no longer needs to introduce itself. It has already been there, waiting patiently for you to see it.